Hello, everybody. Have you ever wondered how websites are similar to this, or similar to these ones that are beautiful, responsive, and looking good? How these websites are made? If you are curious about that, you have come to the right spot. I'll try to teach you how to do that, starting from zero to hero. And please stay on, and you'll definitely gain from these tutorials and playlist. I hope you will enjoy, and sit back and relax, and let's get started. Welcome back. Sorry, I haven't been able to upload videos for the last couple of weeks due to personal commitments. Let's resume anyways. So I guess the agenda for today, let me just back up a little bit. The objective of this channel is actually to learn HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, which is the quickest way to learn web development. I get this particular playlist will be focusing on that. That's what I mean. But overall, it's about technology. It's about learning different programming languages, so on and so forth. So last time we talked about cascading style sheets, which is also known as CSS. We also learned introduction to the cascading style sheets, types of cascading style sheets, inline, internal, and external. And we talked about the fact that cascading style sheet is used for how to change the font, the size, the background color, the position of your content, of the content on your website. We specifically talked about inline and how you do that. If anyone has a question or is still wondering, wasn't able to attend or wasn't able to watch that video, please go back and have a look. But today, the agenda today would be internal cascading style sheets. We did that inline, so we'll be doing internal cascading style sheets. Let's move on. So as usual, what do? We open Visual Studio Code. All right. Again, you go to File, click on File, and then Open Folder, and go to wherever you go to your HTML tutorial. Select folder. Don't save. Excuse me. So the first thing we will be doing today would be to also create a new file by clicking on that plus sign. It's a new file, and you can call it, this one will be called Internal CSS, and you must always add the extension .html, otherwise it won't work. Excuse me. So the first thing you need to do is actually bring up the exclamation mark. How do you do that? You actually press Shift on your keyboard, as well as the exclamation mark on your keyboard, which is the number one. I guess it's on the same spot as the number one. And then click Enter or press Enter. The first thing this will be your boilerplate, HTML boilerplate. We always try to change the document title. Let's call this one Internal CSS. Internal CSS. And we talked about this. This is what appears usually at the bar when you open on your. I'll show you later. Save. Okay. We'll be writing a few HTML elements. We talked about HTML elements. For example, heading H1. Just click H1, and then whenever H1 comes up, press the tab key on your keyboard, and then you can call this one whatever you want. This will be about internal CSS. Save. Let's also write a paragraph. How do you do that? Just write P or press P on your keyboard, and then using your tab key on your keyboard as well, press tab. That gives you a paragraph. Last time we learned something called lorem ipsum. The lorem ipsum is a random, usually I like to keep this to be as best practice, small letter. These are HTML elements for those who don't know. So the HTML elements consist of an opening tag, a closing tag, and whatever is inside will be the content that will appear on your browser. So the paragraph here will write lorem. Whenever lorem comes up, press the tab key on your keyboard. That will give you, some content to work with. All right. So the next thing we will do is, actually, before we go further, let's do our internal CSS. Last time we talked about how to use inline CSS. Maybe this is an opportunity maybe to revisit that. When we to do that, we'll be say color, red. Let's open this one on open with live server. Sorry, this has to be my bad. Style, color, red. Okay, let's open this with a live server. That's what it looks like. This will be about internal CSS, but we are not doing that today. We will be doing internal. This is called inline CSS. Today we'll be doing internal CSS. So the way to do that, you go into the head element. That's the head opening tag, the head closing tag, and then what you do is just write style. That will bring up the style element, opening tag and closing tag. So within that element, what you do is you write your let's say in this case h1, the heading. Just write h1, open curly braces, and then this is where your formatting goes. So let's say color in this case, just same thing. Let's try red. Control S or save. Let's go back. There you go. So it's doing the same thing. If you're wondering maybe how's that, let's close this. Let's close this, and then let's open again. There you go. This will be about internal CSS, right? So that's one way of doing it. This is called internal CSS. Why is it called internal? It's not within the body, it's actually outside the body, and it's still not external. So next class we'll probably look at external CSS. Okay, and what about the paragraph? Same thing. So within the style element, style opening tag, style closing tag in the head, all you do is write P, open curly braces, close curly braces, right? So what you can do next is let's say background color. Usually, the good thing about Visual Studio Code is it's quite neat because it auto completes what you are about to do. And then press the tab key on your keyboard. Let's write here maybe I like blue, the background color blue. Save. Let's go back. There you go. But I like the color, which is the font, the color of the font. Let's make it white to have a better contrast. As you can see, usually when we write you're styling, you write the color, for example, in this case there, and then colon. Let's go back. There you go. maybe we can do another paragraph. You don't have to you can copy the whole thing, copy and paste. The funny thing is that both paragraphs will actually be formatted the same way, because when you say P, that will impact or affect both paragraphs. So it's not gonna, so we will figure out, we will learn a way to differentiate between this P and this P, the two paragraphs. But for now, let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Two paragraphs, they're both you know, formatted at the same time using with a paragraph tag. That's called tag, right? All right, let's also learn one more thing today. We'll learn how to add images on our website. How do you add an image on our website? All you don't need to do is first of all, you need to have an image or a folder, an image folder. Before the class, I added a few pictures. You can add, you know, just go ahead, but make sure that it's within the folder when you're bringing up excuse me, or you know, when you're opening your folder, it has an image folder with all the pictures you need. So one way to do that, just write img and then press the tab key on your keyboard. The source, which means where is this saved. So in this case, it's img, which is the name of the folder. Well, how it's going to happen is that as soon as I, you know, write the /, it will give you a list. Next time we will see if there is, you know, if we have multiple folders and how to access that. But for now, it's very simple. The folder is img, and then you can choose, let's say, camera. Alt means the description, let's say camera. It's people who cannot actually see the size. For now, if we leave it like this, let's see what that's gonna look like. You'll see a picture, but it's quite big. One way to actually format that would be to width, let's say 300, and height would be 300. That's not too big, that's not too small, it's quite nice, small. Alright, okay, let's add another one. Same thing, img source, img / let's add maybe headphone. Let's just call it headphone, and then width 300, height 300. Okay, I know they are quite, we will format better, they look very close to each other. How do we actually change that? We will learn that. All right, let's add one more picture maybe. img, okay, source img. What about TV? Let's call it TV, and then width 300, height 300. You may be wondering what's this 300. These are pixels, so you can either write the pixels, it doesn't really matter, and or you can write just the 300, the size. You can actually play around and see what that means. If you put 600, 700, 800, what that looks like. Save. If you go back again, you see another TV. All right, so we will learn one more way of actually formatting stuff. How do you add, you know, space around, inside or around your content on your browser? Let's say the body. The body means the whole page. How can we format? One way of doing that, let's say it's called body. Remember, this is the body. We are trying to format this element, you know, opening tag and closing tag. So if you need to format that, you are formatting everything. So body, curly braces, and then let's say padding. You add space around, within. So let's say I don't know, 100 pixels. Let's see what that's gonna look like. You see, now we have space all around. We didn't have the space on the top right there, and we didn't have the space on this side, on the right hand side, and we don't have a space. Sometimes it's just nicer to look at, and it's friendly. It's nicer to look at. It's not all the way to the edge. Okay, what about sometimes I like to add, what can we add? Let's add maybe a line. Let's say HR. That will be a horizontal line. If you go back to the page, you see that dark line over there. Okay, so the paragraphs seem to be too close to that dark line, the horizontal line. One thing we could do is actually add what's called margin. So how do you do that? You go within the P tag or paragraph tag, and then write margin. The difference between margin and padding is inside, and padding is within. I will explain better later, but it's within, and the margin is between two elements. That will be margin. Padding is inside. Let's say if you talk about a square or a rectangle, so inside your rectangle, that will be padding, but outside between two rectangles is a margin. I hope that makes sense, but we'll see later. Let's say 30 pixels. Let's go back. See, now there is a space between the paragraphs themselves and between the paragraph and the other element, which is this, in this case, the horizontal line, right? So that will be your padding. So let's do the same thing for the pictures. The pictures seem to be too close to each other. One thing you could do, I will go to okay, we don't have formatting or CSS styling for the images, so you use the tag again, the img open curly braces, and then write padding, not padding, margin, sorry, margin, let's say 30 pixels, I don't know. Okay, see, now there's space in between the two pictures. You can even style further. All right, and to be honest with you, that's about it for today for internal CSS. We will learn more. I hope that was not too overwhelming, but with time we will learn slowly, and then hopefully by the time we finish the course, you are able to actually build your own page comfortably. And you know what, you need to practice. There's no shortcut. That's the only way to learn. I hope you enjoyed. As usual, if you like the content of what I'm doing, please just share, subscribe, and like, and also leave me a comment if you have any question. And sometimes I may make mistakes. You can also correct me there. I may have stumbled upon a few things, but anyways, we're learning together, and hopefully you enjoyed. You have a great day. Bye bye.